Dr. Sneha Sultana, am I audible now?
Yeah, you are now audible.
Thank you. We are very glad that we have our first speaker, Dr. Hina Mukhopadhyay. She already joined us with us. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Trishita, for joining us. We are really very happy, honored to have you also. We are really honored to have our second speaker also. Thank you, Dr. Trishita, for joining us. We are really very happy, honored to have you also. We are really honored to have our second speaker also. Thank you, Dr. Trishita, for joining us. We are really very happy, honored to have you also. We are really honored to have our second speaker also. Thank you, Dr. Trishita, for joining us. We are really very happy, honored to have you also. We are really honored to have our second speaker also. Thank you, Dr. Trishita, for joining us. We are really very happy, honored to have you also. We are really honored to have our second speaker also. Thank you, Dr. Trishita, for joining us. We are really very happy, honored to have you also. We are really honored to have our second speaker also. Thank you, Dr. Trishita, for joining us. We are really very happy, honored to have you also. We are really honored to have our second speaker also. Thank you, Dr. Trishita, for joining us. We are really very happy, honored to have you also. We are really honored to have our second speaker also. Thank you, Dr. Trishita, for joining us. We are really very happy, honored to have you also.
Dr.
We are
Tiwari, am
really
I
honored
audible?
to have our second speaker also. Thank you, Dr. Trishita, for joining us. We are really very happy,
Hello?
honored to have you also.
Dr.
We are
Tiwari, am I
really honored
audible?
to have our second
Yeah.
speaker also.
Yes,
Thank you,
good
Dr.
morning.
Trishita,
Good
for
morning.
joining
Happy
us.
International
We are
Women's
really
Day to
very
all of
happy,
you.
honored
Thanks
to
a
have
lot
you
for
also.
Dr.
We are
Tiwari, am
really
I
honored
audible?
to have our second
Yeah.
speaker also.
Yes,
Thank
good
you, ma'am.
morning.
Thank
Good
you, ma'am.
morning. Happy
We
International
are
Women's Day
really
to
very
all of
happy,
you.
honored
Thanks
to
a
have
lot
you
for
also.
Dr.
We are
Tiwari, am I
really
audible?
very happy. We are going to
Yeah.
start.
Yes,
Thank
good
you, ma'am.
morning.
Thank
Good
you, ma'am, for
morning. Happy
joining us.
Before
International
that, I'd
Women's
like
Day to
to
all of you.
inform
Thanks
to
a
our
lot for Dr.
about
Tiwari, am I audible?
we are going to
Yeah.
start
Yes,
Thank
good
you, ma'am.
morning.
Thank
Good
you, ma'am, for
morning.
joining
Happy
us.
International Women's Day to all of you. Thanks a
inform
lot
one
for
thing
Dr.
about
Tiwari, am I audible?
very YouTube live
Yes,
Thank you,
good
ma'am.
morning.
Thank
Good
you, ma'am, for
morning.
joining
Happy
us.
International Women's Day to all of you.
start
Thanks a
reading
lot
one
for
thing
Dr.
about
Tiwari, am I audible?
very YouTube live
Yes,
Thank you,
good
ma'am.
morning.
Thank
Good
you, ma'am, for
morning.
joining
Happy
us.
International Women's Day to all of you.
start reading
Thanks a
one
lot for
thing
Dr.
about
Tiwari, am I audible?
YouTube live
Yes,
Thank you,
good
ma'am.
morning.
Thank
Good
you, ma'am, for
morning.
joining
Happy
us.
International Women's Day to all of you.
start reading
Thanks a
one
lot for
thing
Dr.
about
Tiwari, am I audible?
YouTube live
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Good
you, ma'am, for
morning.
joining
Happy
us.
International Women's Day to all of you.
start reading
Thanks a
one
lot for
thing
Dr.
about
Tiwari, am I audible?
YouTube live
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Good
you, ma'am, for
morning.
joining
Happy
us.
International Women's Day to all of you.
start reading
Thanks a
one
lot for
thing
Dr.
about
Tiwari, am I audible?
YouTube live
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Good
you, ma'am, for
morning.
joining
Happy
us.
International Women's Day to all of you.
start reading
Thanks a
one
lot for
thing
Dr.
about
Tiwari, am I audible?
YouTube live
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Good
you, ma'am, for
morning.
joining
Happy
us.
International Women's Day to all of you.
start reading
Thanks a
one
lot for
thing
Dr.
about
Tiwari, am I audible?
YouTube live
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Good
you, ma'am, for
morning.
joining
Happy
us.
International Women's Day to all of you.
start reading
Thanks a
one
lot for
thing
Dr.
about
Tiwari, am I audible?
YouTube live
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Good
you, ma'am, for
morning.
joining
Happy
us.
International Women's Day to all of you.
start reading
Thanks a
one
lot for
thing
Dr.
about
Tiwari, am I audible?
YouTube live
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Good
you, ma'am, for
morning.
joining
Happy
us.
International Women's Day to all of you.
start reading
Thanks a
one
lot for
thing
Dr.
about
Tiwari, am I audible?
YouTube live
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Good
you, ma'am,
morning.
for joining
Happy
us.
International
Good morning to all. Honorable speakers, Dr. Hina Ray, Joint Director CDAC Kolkata and Adjunct Professor IIT Dhanbad, and Dr. Trishita Nandi Chatterjee, Patent Associate of LS Dhabar and Company Kolkata, and all faculty members and participants. A very warm welcome to all at today's webinar on Inspiring Women in Technology. I, Dr. Sneha Sultana, on behalf of Department of Electrical Engineering and NSS, invite Dr. Sushanto Datta, HOD of Department of Electrical Engineering, for the welcome speech. Sir, please.
Good morning, Sneha. Good morning to all present. Respected speakers, Dr. Hina Roy, Joint Director CDSC Kolkata, and Adjunct Professor of IIT Dhanbad, and Dr. Trishita Nandi Chatterjee, Patent Associate LS Dhabar and Company, Kolkata, colleagues and my dear students. International Women's Day is celebrated annually today, that is on 8th March. The United Nations Charter became the first international agreement to affirm the principle of equality between men and women in 1940. The United Nations observed its first official International Women's Day on March 8, 1975, during International Women's Year. The theme of International Women's Day 2022 is Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow. Recognize the contribution of women and girls around the world who are leading the charge on climate change, adaptation, mitigation, and response to build a more sustainable future for all. Today, we all have gathered for a webinar about a very important topic, inspiring women in technology. I am highly honored to take this opportunity on behalf of Electrical Engineering Department to welcome all of you. We have amongst us two speakers who are highly qualified and possess vast knowledge and experience in the field of technology. I am sure that we all will feel enriched with knowledge. After completion of this webinar, I welcome you all once again to the webinar and hope that you all will have a great time ahead. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for your welcome speech. Thank you so much. Now I will request Dr. Kamalika Tiwari, Assistant Professor of Department of Electrical Engineering, to introduce our speaker.
Good morning to all. It's needless to introduce Dr. Hina Rai. She is well known to many of us, but uh, part of the protocol we are introducing her. Dr. Hina Rai is the Joint Director at Center for Development of Advanced Computing Kolkata and R&D organization under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. She is also the adjunct fact professor at IIT Indian Institute of Mines, Dhanbad. Dr. Hina Ray has completed her PhD from Instrumentation and Electronics Department, Jadavpur University, Kolkata. She has 25 years of research experience in VLSI, embedded system, designing, process automation, image processing, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, robotics, sensors, and sensing systems. She has 5 granted patents, more than over 20 5 research publications, and she has several accolades to her name. She won Best Paper Award in IEEE BSTC Conference 2020. She has led her research group for multiple Government of India funded projects, and also most of have been gone through the transfer of technology that are now in use commercially. Thank you, Nina ma'am, for joining us. It's an honor for us to have you in the platform, especially on the Women's Day. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us.
Thank you,
Thank you
Dr.
all.
Tiwari. Now I will request our speaker, Dr. Hina Ray, to deliver her speech. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning to one and all. And before sharing my deliberation, basically what I am doing now and what are the technologies nowadays that is required for Indian scenario, first of all, I just want to share greetings to all the dignitaries in the virtual platform. I express my thanks and gratitude to all the professors and students, mainly Dr. Professor Sushant Datto, Dr. Kamalika Tiwari, and Dr. Sneha Sultana. So before introduction, I have already introduced by Kamalika. So I'll just share my presentation, what I am doing over now. And I also want to share something about that the Women's Day, why we are here now. Basically, it's a festival. We are celebrating the Women's Day as a global day. Why it's a global day? Because we are marking the social, economic, cultural, and political advancement of women. This day marks a call to action for accelerating the gender parity, as Dr. Sushanta Datta spelled out clearly, to help the forge positive change for women. We, the people of our motherland, must embark on creating more opportunities for the younger female children of our nation and worldwide to help nurture their interest in science and technology. Today, I am honored to have been invited by Professor Dr. Sushanta Datta of this esteemed Dr. BCREC Engineering College, Durgapur, to talk about some of my humble contributions that I have had to the advancement in science and technology, specifically for my country, India. So I'll share my presentation. The screen is visible to you?
Yes, visible.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, yes.
So before the start
Yes,
of
ma'am.
the technology and contribution from women, especially the women scientists, just I would like to say something on that the evolution of technology, why we are at this stage of robotics, where from we have started. If we say the evolution of the technology, so we first say that the industrial revolution, that is called Industry 4.0. And we have seen from the graphical presentations that there is a continuous revolution in digital domain, that is the changing the way we live now, what we eat, the way we interact, we communicate. Also, we do our financial and everyday transaction. So there is a lot of changes in the technology, and we have to adopt all the changes, whatever is happening in technological domain. If we see the time of 1760s to 1830s, in that time, that 18th and 19th century, there is an exponential growth of machinery and mechanization in production with the help of the steam and water engine. So that time there is a available of unskilled labor and lot of troubles are there. But If we are witnessed with the electrical power generation in the era of 1870 to 1969, then we are able to produce large-scale production, like the steel revolution, assembly line for production of color television, assembly line production for the different household products that are come into picture. These all are the revolution of industrial technology and science. Then we have the automation and information technology, which has changed a lot in our daily life. Like we have the 3D printing, we have the big data, we have the social media, then the digital, everything is now the digital instead of analog. Now, at present, we are surrounded by the cyber physical systems. So everything are connected with the technology. Wherever we are going, whatever we are doing, these all are connected with each other. So we are make a one slogan that made for me. So whatever we are doing, that is for us only. That is for our motherland. So we have to do the right product at right time, right price, and right quality. And that is the motto of development of different technology. And this way, industrial revolution also come into picture. As Kamalika rightly pointed out, that I have started my journey in CDAC long back around 2000, 2001, and I have started the work in the domain of sensor and sensing system, that is a mainly embedded systems. Then slowly I do the work on the Internet of Things, and recently I developed a autonomous solution that is for the agricultural application, which is very much need of the hour. So I am just summarizing my presentation in such a way, what is the mechanization and why it is required for our country, mainly for agriculture, and what is the different players who are working on this, what are the different science and technology division these people are working, and R&D society. So as we all know that whenever we are talking about the technology, and we are called in the last slide, previous slide, that we all are connected. Yes, we all are connected. How do we connect? Like a human being, all the machines, we are trying to mimic all the machines whichever existing in the nature, just to behave like a human being, just to behave like a human being. Like we people can see, and we can make a machine that's maybe a robot, that's maybe a different thing that can able to see the environment, whatever is available in the environment, that all are analog in nature. But whenever we are trying to get this analog information into the machine, then we all know we have to make it as digitized. So there are different things that we have to make in one system, that is called the robotics, that is called the artificial intelligence. Because why it is artificial intelligence? Because we are trying to put a system that will mimic the human intelligence. And IoT means basically Internet of Things. Basically all the things will communicate with each other, getting the information from surroundings. So first thing is that you have to locate where to go, then you have to connect, and you have to sense the environment, what are the things are there, what to do. So I'll give you a live example what we people are doing over here, and then you will get the details of the information whatever I'm trying to say over here. And you have to give the intelligence to the system, so that will be able to think of what to do, and accordingly they will act, and they will collaborate with each other like we people are meeting each other. So everything now in the era of Industry 4.0, the systems and the human beings are connected with each other. So now if I go into details, what is the robotics and robots? So there are different types of robots available. By locomotion, maybe that is a stationary, Maybe they have a wheel, maybe a legged, or that may be an aerial, maybe underground. The different types of robots are available. Although we people are used to understand the robot means like a human type of look, but it's not like that. It just work like a slaved labor, like our homemade. They are trying to give some help during the work of our daily life. Similar way, robots is also being defined, robots is also being developed. So if you see that the stationary robot, then you can see how do they work.
Fanuc America's all-new SR Series Scara robots are an excellent solution for general high-speed pick-and-place applications. This demonstration highlights that Fanuc Scara robots are also a cost-effective alternative choice to using linear slides.
But it doesn't look like a human being, but it does some work that the repetitive task what people doesn't want to do. So what it does, it is like a manipulator, it is having a gripper, it is just doing a pick and place. Maybe applicable for drug delivery system, maybe applicable some other industrial applications. So this is not, it cannot move. It is a stationary in a certain position and it is performed its task based on the program assigned to it. And it is a type of called the Scara robot, that the stationary one. If we see the wheeled robot, then you can see that the wheel platform can able to move into the field to do some operations. And there is some legged one. And there is some mobile robot. And this type of robot is very well known, and this is a Sophia, and this called as humanoid robot. Now coming to the picture of where we are now, why that the young people should be into the technology, especially in this auspicious day, I should say the women, young female students, they should come into that technology domain, because we can see from the slide that there is an exponential growth of the technology, mainly in the robotic industry, and that projected to rise by 4.2% per annum. Also, the projection is up to 2019, but today it's in a bigger set. An opportunity exists in automating the agricultural related activities, and India is ranked top among the other players across the globe. So there are different opportunities are there, mainly in the industrial and mobile robots. There are major industrial robotic industry are there, like KUKA, ABB, and Robert Bosch. Few research institutes are there, mainly DRDO, BARC, ISRO, and academic institutes. Few startups are also there, those who are working in the domain of IoT and robotics. So they are the players. And these are the applications where we can do the robotics application, mainly solar, medical, diamond. And I will specify my speech today onto that, the agriculture, robotics, and why it is required nowadays in our motherland. Generally, if we see that there is not so much applications of robotics in the industrial sector, especially in agriculture, but why we have to concentrate, we have to explore this technology either today or tomorrow, because if we see the population explosion across globe and India in particular, there is a population growth about 10 billion of population by the end of 2050 as per the report of United Nations, and the world needs to produce 50% more food by 2050. As you see that there is a overgrowth, there is an explosion of population, and only 4% of land is available under cultivation to meet the demand, because there is lot many changes are happening. Now we have seen there is a wear, and there are climate change, there is a global warming. So the cultivation, land for cultivation is now slowly reducing. This is going to a big problem, because we are not predicting the weather conditions like the heat waves and more cooler winter, abnormally rainy seasons that we have seen in the last year, and higher occurrence of the cyclones. So across the globe, we are now getting a very less arable land for the cultivation. Parallelly, we need more food because of the population explosion. So what we have to do? And another problem in the Indian agriculture is that the labor shortage. Why the labor shortage is being happened? Because slowly the skilled labor, that the young generation slowly migrating from the agricultural field to the different IT and different core industry. So there is a scarcity of labor. If you don't have the land, if you don't have the farmer, parallelly if you need more food, so what is the requirement? You have to believe on the technology. You have to work on more focus on the technology to meet all the demands to save our country. So we have seen there is a very less food will be available by the year of 2080 if we are not aware about the automation, mechanization, and IoT in agricultural sector. But what are the problems in Indian agriculture? There are a very small and fragmented land holdings, and there is a soil degradation because of the excessive use of fertilizers, because people doesn't know how much amount of chemicals need to be sprayed onto the field to get a proper production, and all the outputs that also depends upon some external factors like the weather, like the water resource, and pest and disease attack. So if we want to arrest all the parameters, you have to believe on the technology. And parallelly, there is a lack of mechanization, lack of automation in agriculture, and very slow adoption of technology. As a whole, what happened? It not only damages the quality of food, but also creates a great loss in our environment, as well as the young generation health and the climate change. And we do not have the adequate and proper storage facility also. So these are the problems in Indian agriculture. So the young generation are not interested to do the agricultural profession because it is not a lucrative one, and there is a very shortage of farmer, very shortage of labor, and mainly because of the excessive use of the fertilizer, pesticides, and other chemicals. That not only creates the pollution to the environment, creates a great health hazards to the particular farmer involved in spraying the pesticides and fertilizer. Hence, the food safety is a major issue. So, to get all the problems, try to solve all the problems, what we are trying to do, that different solutions are available in our country, like tractor. By using the tractor, not many things can be done. Transplanter, basically they will put the seedlings onto the rice field. There are some drum seeder of direct sowing of seeds. There is some technology for the controlled irrigation, and mechanical harvesters are available. There are some unmanned aerial vehicle, and different technologies are there. But why we are talking on this particular day on what we have developed, what is the new special things are there in Indian scenario. So this is a Japanese case study. I'll not go into details of it. What is the initiative? What we people did as a woman, as a female candidate, what is my contribution for our motherland? That I want to say in this forum. What personally I felt that when I visited some remote rural places, I've seen that the young generation are getting affected with several disaster, detrimental disease like cancers and all because of the inhalation of pesticides and fertilizers during their farming process, mainly in paddy, as it is a staple food. So in our village, we have seen that there is no young farmers are available because of the affection of cancers and all. And that strikes me a lot. And then I had a talk with our senior management. Can we do something for our society, for our country? If we can do something for the agriculture, so that our major resource, that is the young farmers, can get benefited out of it. So we have started making a design of autonomous field robot for paddy cultivation. In this project, we are having some collaborators like CDAC Kolkata, IIT Kharagpur, and a private institution in Coimbatore, and one domain expert, that is a Viswa Agricultural University, Ranchi. And we are thankful to the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. They are our parent body. They have given us the fund. So what is the objective of this project? Now see, in the right hand side, this is the paddy field. This paddy field, major challenge is that the spacing between the two paddy row is only 60 centimeter. So you have to design the wheel in such a way so it doesn't hamper, doesn't damage the crop. This is the first criteria. Second thing is that the height of the tree, as we all know, that the height of the paddy crop is around 100 to 120 centimeter. So your vehicle, your robot should have such that amount of ground clearance, that is 120 and all. Designing a very high ground clearance car is a very, very difficult challenge, and in an unmanned way. So our vehicle is designed in such a way it should be able to move the path just like farmers are moving. It is called an ox pattern. So it will do the entire farming operations apart from the harvesting. What it does, it can be controlled remotely as well as it is doing the autonomous operation. So it can do entire operation up to 55 days of crop cultivation, doing the entire crop scouting, mainly showing of seed, doing the plant health monitoring like the chlorophyll index estimation, what is the plant growth and the number of branches it has occurred, if there is any disease or not, and that spraying of chemicals on the particular plant, not the entire farm. That is the beauty of our project. That is the USP. So if there is a disease attack based on the vision technique, based on the image processing and AI algorithm, we will spray the pesticides on the particular plant itself. It is not spraying the pesticides of the entire field that not only damage the entire crop health, but also creates a health hazards to the farmer. And during the design, what are the challenges we have faced? We have to make a big ground clearance, precise navigation. So it has to move between the two rows. So 60 centimeter. If it goes that side or that side, so that's the paddy will be damaged. And heading accuracy. So it has to get the information from the IMU sensors. And basic beauty is the real-time decision and actuation. Whenever it traverses the path, it just takes the picture from the field, and if there is any requirement of the nutritional deficiency or water deficiency or any pest attack, immediately based on the algorithm designed onto the card, it will do the actuation of spraying of chemicals like fertilizer, pesticides and all. And another big challenge is that the system should work in the muddy water field, because in Indian scenario, all the farmland is a muddy one, and this will operate at a stretch 3 to 4 hours. So this vehicle we have designed and it is successfully running and it is in a trial at BCREC Agricultural University, Ranchi. So it looks like a four-wheeled vehicle. All the wheels are equally driven and equally steered. So it can take a turn and this is called a holonomic drive. In mechanical parlance, it's called a holonomic drive. So during the turn, it doesn't damage any crop. Major components what we have designed over here, there are drive motors. These all are the BLDC motor and 48 volt 200 watt. And it is having a steering facility. So there are 4 drive motors, 4 steering motors, and we have a lithium and rechargeable battery to work at least 3 to 4 hours. And basic beauty of the system, it is that this is IP65 protected device and it is having a wireless GoPro camera. It is a very, very good camera so that you can have a very good resolution image. Once we capture the image, immediately we do the computation on the GPU code and we can do the actuation of the sprayer. And this environment is basically developed on the Jetson Nano board, which is having a very good GPU compatibility. And it is our RTK GPS enabled system. This RTK GPS basically it's a very costly one. We have only the chip entire firmware and all we have developed over here. It is a very, very low cost, only 5,000 to 6,000 cost. It is able to give you a accuracy of 10 to 20 millimeter and IMU basically it will give an heading accuracy of 2 to 3 degree. And we have used a multi-core processor called the Jetson TX2. And why this Jetson TX2 board is used? Because it is having a CAN controller. And CAN controller is basically developed by the Bosch. And this is used for the noisy, mainly in the automobile industry. And all the controller for the wheel, steering and drive, we have used the Arduino Duo. This is the basically major components of our development. And this is the sprayer and camera assembly. This camera is basically mounted beneath the vehicle. And this basically the architecture of the system where we have the main processor. This is the main vehicle controller, which is a Jetson TX2 board. And it is having a facility of giving Ubuntu 16.04. Then it is compatible with ROS. ROS is a very important thing in the robotics because robotic operating systems, if you use that system, it is a very, very compact and modular operating system that sits on the Ubuntu, but it gives you a lot many features to work in the robotics domain. And there is a control station where from that the user can operate the machine. It will get all the information where the vehicle is, what should be the chlorophyll index value, whether we need to do the actuation or not, and the entire thing you will get onto that GUI station. And there is a backend, there is a database, so you will have the information. So future, if you want to do the research, so you can have all the information onto your the memory card. And this the camera is giving you the information from the environment. And this is the drum seeder, it will do the sowing of seeds. And it's a sprayer, it will do the actuation. And this is an Arduino controller which controls that the wheel drives and motors. This is basically the hardware architecture of our robot. And I just told that the robotic operating system, it is just like a MQTT type of protocol, but not exactly MQTT. It's working in a public subscribe mode. So you have seen there are a lot many modules are there, that the navigation, chlorophyll content, seedling count, tillering and disease detection. But beauty of the ROS is that if you have a single camera, that camera information will help you to do the navigation, to understand the chlorophyll index, that the nutritional content of the leaf, seedling counts, number of branches are there, tillering and disease detection. But if you don't use that the robotic operating systems, so you have to have 5 different cameras onto it. But if you have the information camera, that the image, so you can use multiple modules also, as the information is working as a public and subscribe mode. And this is the beauty of the robotic operating system. And this is our GUI from where we can operate the entire thing. If you do the remote control based operation like a joystick, you can do the navigation left and right, or if you can do that the autonomous, so you can see where is your system is based on that the RTK, GPS and IMU sensors. And you can get lot many sensors or interface over here, and you can get the information onto the screen. What is the plant growth, chlorophyll index, seedling and tillering, every value will be displaying over there. So it is developed onto the base station. From that station you can operate the entire robot. So the database, it is a very small footprint database. You can have the entire information like the where the system is, like the latitude and longitude, and what should be the value of the plant, what is the chlorophyll index, seedling count, everything you will be getting. After operation of the field robot, you just take the data onto your PC and you can do the operation for your further research applications and all. So these all are the things it can do. So I'll show a demonstration how do our system work, and we named this as a Samadhan. So it can do some problem solving attitude for dhan as a paddy. So these all are the development for the paddy cultivation, and now the system is in the Vish Agricultural University for data collections and trial. And after the development of the wheeled platform, we have started our journey for development of the harvester. What it does, it will do the harvesting of 2 leaf and a bud. That is the unique selling proposition of our project. So if you have the fine count, so your quality of tea will be more and your price will be also enhanced. So we are also planning over here to develop a vehicle. That vehicle should not be a electrical driven, because we have faced lot many things in our previous project. So we are trying to make it a hydraulic. So hybrid, basically electric and hydraulic based device. So I'll just show you how does it looks and all. So the vehicle is having a storage facility. So it will move into the tea garden. And based on the AI-based image processing algorithm, it will pluck 2 leaves and a bud. First, it has to localize the tea, and then it will actuate, and it will pluck and put it into some conveyor belt. And after that will go to the storage device. And parallelly, it will do the pruning also in one flash. So we are proposing that one. And another interesting project also we are proposing, that is called the apple harvester. Here we are not developing any robot, only we are want to develop 6 degrees of freedom manipulator and gripper. So it will pluck the red apple, only the red apple in Kashmir. So these all are the development we are doing over here. So this is all about my presentation. So, but we have to say why we are more far behind that the full autonomous, full autonomy, because of the costlier affair, and it is a very, very complex. Lot many technical expertise are required, but I am hopeful that if we are into the field today or tomorrow, it is required. Ultimately, it is our own technology. We have all the technologies. We have everything with us. We should not depend on the imported one. Like the tractors, what we people are using it. If we have the community farming, so as a service we can use. So entire ecosystem has to be developed for support and maintenance, and slowly the young generation will be attracted by the technology and for maintenance, service, development, AI, and that the system development and data analytics, everything they can do on their own. And we have to take the initiative from government and different stakeholders, and we have to make the awareness among ourselves. We are hopeful that we will be able to generate more skilled manpower for our motherlands. By these words, I am willing to stop my presentation over here. Thank you very much for your patience sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your inspiring speech. Now, I would request our participants, if you have any question. Participants, have you any questions? Ma'am, some participants wants your PPT. May you share that PPT?
I will share it to Dr. Tiwari.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Participants, any queries, any questions? Okay, ma'am. Thank you. We are thankful to our speaker for sharing her time with us. We look forward for further association with you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Kamalika di, it's ready. Kamalika di, Kamalika madam.
Yes.
Acha.
Yes.
Now a small token of appreciation for you, ma'am, on behalf of Dr. BCREC Engineering College. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. Thank you so much.
Thanks. I have some other meetings. Can I leave now?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was checking.
Hello, Dr. Tiwari.
Yes.
As Dr. Ray finished a little early, so can I start my presentation from around 12:30 p.m.?
Yes. I was just looking for you, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, so
Dr.
please,
Trishita,
like
we may
by
start. I'll ask Dr. Sultana to please take over and please give a welcome to Dr. Trishita Chatterjee, ma'am. Before
Please
he
give me
starts.
15 minutes. I need to connect actually. I'm starting at 12:30 p.m. Okay.
Okay.
Is that
We'll
Okay,
start
ma'am.
at
Okay.
12:30.
okay?
We'll
Thank you
start
so
at
much.
12:30 p.m. Okay.
Thank you.
We will request the students to kindly be connected. Stay tuned with the platform. We have our next speaker, Dr. Trishita Nandi Chatterjee. She is a patent associate. She will give you the footstep of the how to take over the research, and in a particularly in a new domain, that is the topic is uh, We will let you know the topic soon. The topic is Women in STEM. She will be joining with us. Student, kindly stay connected.
Hello, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, audible.
Yeah,
Uh,
ma'am, you are audible.
can we start?
Yes, yes, yes. Please start.
Okay. Sneha, Dr.
Good,
Sneha, please take.
okay. Good afternoon, Trishita ma'am. Now, I will request Dr. Shoma Bishwas, Associate Professor of Department of Electrical Engineering, to introduce our speaker, Dr. Trishita Nandi Chatterjee. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sneha. I am very much privileged to read the biography of Madam Trishita. Dr. Trishita Nandi Chatterjee is a patent associate with LS Davar and Company and operates from its office headquartered in Kolkata, West Bengal, India. She has completed her bachelor's in technology in electrical and communication engineering from Hooghly Engineering and Technology College, Hooghly, West Bengal. After being graduated in engineering, she pursued M.Tech in nanoscience and technology from Jadavpur University, Kolkata, India. She served a year and a half as an assistant professor in a private engineering college in West Bengal. After that, joined a PhD program with the Department of Instrumentation and Electronics Engineering in Jadavpur University, Kolkata. She received her PhD degree from Jadavpur University in 2019 and also served thereafter as a project assistant in CSIR Central Glass and Ceramic Research Institute, Kolkata, India. Her current research interests include synthesis of nanomaterials, nanocomposites, molecular imprinted polymers, gas sensors, electronic tongue, and machine olfaction. She has authored around 20 articles in reputed journals and also presented some of them in prestigious conferences. Presently, in her current role, she is looking into various aspects of drafting and filling a patent application related to different inventions and researches. She is she has a demonstrated experience of working with clients all over India and a few globally regarding drafting, filling, and prosecuting their innovations. So, Madam Trishita, platform is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Bishwas. Now, I will request our speaker, Dr. Trishita Nandi Chatterjee, to deliver her lecture on women in STEM, expanding careers other than stereotype. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Bishas. First, I'm just trying to share my screen and then I'll start the presentation. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Tiwari, and thank you, the organizers, Dr. Datta, Dr. Sultana, and Dr. Vishwas, and other organizing team for organizing a seminar in this auspicious occasion of International Women's Day. And more importantly, thanks to all of you for considering that I would be eligible enough to deliver something that would be inspiring as well as informative to the target audience. So thank you for considering me. Hello all. First of all, again, a very happy Women's Day. So the title of this webinar is very apt. It's inspiring women in technology. So obviously, because women are the inspiring agents in all different fields, not only technology, but as we are technology related persons, so we are narrowing down it to a little technology kind of thing. And I am trying to demonstrate, or I'm trying to provide an insight that what are the different career options a women and also a man also can pursue apart from the stereotyped roles which are already available to us. So in line with this context, my title of presentation for today is Women in STEM Expanding Careers Other Than Stereotypes. So, what is STEM? STEM is related to science, technology, engineering, mathematics, medicine. Okay, so the person who pursue career or pursue his or her studies in these fields are considered to be a STEM professionals. Now, I would like to present a few role models who have excelled in STEM and highly proficient in these fields. There are eminent chemists, eminent scientists, eminent doctors and astronauts, and whatnot. An eminent first doctor, Dr. Kadambini Ganguly, she is a female doctor. But in that era, pursuing STEM and being excelling in that was way more difficult than that it is today, because in that era people used to consider that educating a girl child and also up to this level is merely a wastage of time and money and efforts. So preliminary the thinking was like a girl should be treated how to manage her household, how to manage, how to cook, how to manage her laundry and every other thing, and the rest is for men. Men will do business, men will work, men will earn, and the girl will simply manage an household. But I feel it little skeptical that and I also consider that cooking, managing household and managing laundry are basic life skills, so that is required for both the genders. So it is not a point to restrict that part to a particular gender, that women can do this and men cannot. So it's, I think it's showing little partiality to women. So the next slide, when we see that in today's time, what are the figures of men and women pursuing STEM, we can find that they are almost at par with each other. 43% of women are in STEM, and 57% of men are pursuing their studies in STEM. But and the primary reasons, like today, as I told earlier also, that the today's era is slightly different from the one in which these role models excelled, because today we are far more aware of the fact. We know that educating a women, educating a girl child is very important, and also there are some factors which dominate that women education is also a significant in these days, I mean the number. These are mainly increased gross enrollment rate in schools, increased female literacy, increased awareness, as I was already telling, increased online support, and obviously our government is extending different supports in the form of different schemes that is funded by DST, Department of Science and Technology. These are namely DST Inspire, DST Kiran for women, and for educating women in field of research, science, and so on and so forth. Now, when I check that if so many women are educated in the field of STEM, why are they not doing their jobs in the field of STEM? When I check the statistics, I find out that 86% of men have landed STEM jobs, whereas there are only 14% of women who are working in the field of STEM. Now, why is it? If so many percentage of women are being allowed to take their studies in this field, now why such less percentage of women have landed into STEM jobs? So what I think that these are inadequate maybe skill. This applies to both men and women both, because in some there are a lot of universities and lot of colleges throughout where people are being educated, people are giving degree, but they don't have that adequate skill to cope up with the environment or cope up with the industry rather. Then there are societal tangles. This is very much like a part and parcel of a woman life. We all know we have to manage our family, we have to manage our work, we have to manage our child and everything. So we get like, and we need to relocate also along with our husbands if they are switching from one job to another. So all these things impairs a lot in a career of a woman. Secondly, the third point is dual responsibility of running households and work simultaneously, as I already mentioned. Marriage, childbirth, etc. When you are doing, suppose, a PhD, at that time our biological clocks also ticks around that time, and we also, we also need to start a family to give birth to a child. We need to get married, and so many constants are there. And finally, what it does, like after pursuing a degree like PhD or maybe masters, we generally think that okay, now let's manage family first and then I'll take my career at a later stage. But what normally happens, like when we have stopped, or when we have when we have stopped ourselves from pursuing a career that is a continuation path of our career gets stopped, and as a result what happens, we lack a lot in the current industrial scenario. We are not upgraded, we are not updating ourselves. So obviously there will be very less chance of hiring us in the by the industry people. Now, safety and security at workplace, that is a very important thing, that we know that not only the workplace should be very good, but there should be a safety and security in the daily commutation, in with no harassment by our colleagues and so on. So these are some of the challenges women are facing in their everyday life. We think that this may be like an outsider may think this may be a very small challenge, but we know that what we actually face and what is the intensity of this challenges we are facing in our regular life throughout. Now, the sixth thing, which I truly believe to some extent, that we are not properly aware of the career opportunities also. Like we believe that these are we have done masters, we have done PhD, and this are the career options, which I'll be coming into the later of the slides. But we don't know, we don't explore that what can be the other career options as well. How can I also work and I also contribute to my society? Now, there are some career opportunities after completion of PhD. These are normally being pursued. That is a postdoctoral research. They're mainly contractual positions. One can do researches in different esteemed laboratories and institutes, either in India or abroad, and one can pursue researches. But within a specific time frame, a fellowship is given to a candidate, maybe for 2 years, for 5 years, or like that, and one pursues research in different fields. Now, the second opportunity is in academia. Uh, Obviously, one gets appointed to different universities or colleges, maybe a private college, maybe a government college, in contractual role, also in a maybe also in a permanent role. And the third option is an industry. So industry can be of different types as well. One can have a contractual engagement, like in any project or like that, maybe for a tenure of 2 years or 3 years, and one can be a permanent enrollment also. Same, that can be industry, can be a government industry can be a private industry, and so on and so forth. So I will definitely focus on career opportunities in industries. So if we consider the career opportunities in industries, there are mainly four aspects which have come into my mind. That may be research and development. There are many research and development industries pursuing researches and developments throughout for the betterment of mankind. One of them is obviously CDAC, as Dr. Ray pointed out very clearly. Another is data science, another booming field. One is pursuing a high level of data science techniques in algorithms and machine learning techniques, and also in artificial intelligence. Data science is a booming field right now. Third one is the entrepreneur. One can be an entrepreneur at any stage of life, at any taking any business one is interested on. And the fourth one is intellectual property. Now, what is intellectual property? Intellectual property is the preservation, or is a way of preservation of one's inventions, one's ideas, one's developments, what one has done in the field of research and development. Like I am doing a research, I have developed something, I have developed a procedure for something, but I have just published my article in a reputed journal paper. That is not enough. if I'm not protecting my technology, if I'm not protecting my invention, I'm not contributing anything to the industry. Or maybe a second person can duplicate my technology and duplicate my invention, and he or she can gain a lot of, fame and money by developing that thing or by commercialization. Now, the thing which always pondered into my mind while doing research, that I am doing something in a lab level, I'm developing a prototype, I am publishing papers, okay. But where this all thing is going, like what is the ultimate benefit of doing all this? If I'm not being able to commercialize that particular thing, if an industry is not being able to use that particular approach and uh, do certain help to the mankind or being of certain advantage to the mankind, then what is the purpose of doing research? I'm confining myself into a small domain. So from this, the intellectual property is gaining its significance day by day, and especially with the advent of Atmanirbhar Bharat, we all are focusing, or we all should focus rather, to protect our inventions to a considerable extent, so that we can commercialize it and we can aptly use it as a in a later stage. So what are the different types of intellectual property? These are mainly patent, copyright, trademark, trade secrets, and industrial designs. Now, I'll be coming into this, what is patent, what is copyright, what is trademark later stage. Now, first telling regarding patent. As I also belong from a patent department, what is patent? Like I have developed maybe a sensor, okay, but I have developed a sensor, I have published that work in different conferences, I have presented that work in a conference, I have applied, I have published in different journals, but but I have not approached to any company or any stakeholder for commercialization of my sensor. In a lab level, it is not possible to develop your sensor to a like bulk quantity or a bulk level. But if I approach to a company, if understands that yes, this sensor is of economic relevance, this sensor is technically advantageous, that company can use my idea and develop the sensors for in a bulk level. Now, now when I'm approaching a company for using my idea, before that, my idea needs to be protected, so that no any person, maybe X, Y, or Z, can approach with the same idea to that same company and get all the benefit. So before approaching, I need to patent my invention, whatever small it is, how whatever big it is, whatever small it is, very less, many things, no problem, but we need to get it patented. So now what things can be patentable and what are not patentable basically? So the patentable things are basically inventions, as I was telling, new processes, new machines, new ways of manufacturing things. And which are not patentable, these are namely mathematical formula. Suppose any principle or any substance found in nature, these are already present in nature, so there is no point in protecting that thing. Any surgical methods and procedures. Now, any invention conflicting with ethical and moral standards. Suppose I am developing a machine, I have developed a machine which is duplicating the currency notes, or which is acting as a duplicate of a mint. So in that way, I am, or maybe I have developed a system for theft. So these things are normally detrimental to our society, they do not offer any benefit to our society. So these things are not patentable because they are conflicting with our ethical and moral standards. And the sixth thing which cannot be patentable is inventions related to atomic energy, because government of India has strict directions imposing secrecy and other laws also, which prevents inventions related to atomic energy to be patented for the benefit of mankind. Now, as I was telling, there are copyright, trademark, design. So we can apply copyright for any art, any music, writing, movies, software. The softwares are normally not patentable. Algorithms cannot be patented as in Indian patents, so we can apply copyright for it. Now, trademark, we all know that business names, logos, symbols, slogans, that needs to be specific to a specific company. So, how to make it specific? We can make it specific by applying for a trademark, that I have registered I have a registered trademark in this particular symbol or in this particular logo, and nobody is able to replicate or duplicate this particular mark. And thirdly, the design can be filed in case of shape, patterns, arrangement of lines, color combination, or aesthetic appearance. But the object should be tangible. Okay, we can see the object, we can touch the object, and for those objects only we can apply for a design. Now, being a patent associate, I will narrow down my talk towards towards patenting things and patenting inventions, so that the audience can have a good knowledge and also can come up for patenting their invention, understanding the necessity, like why an invention needs to be patented. So when I will go for filing patent of my invention, I should consider these four things that an invention should obviously be have. That is, an invention should be novel. Novel means what? The invention should be original, like it is not present in any public domain from beforehand, or it cannot be anticipated by publication in any form of any document anywhere in the world. Suppose it will not follow from a plain logic. This is available and I can easily derive from that particular logic, and I can develop a system or a process. So those inventions are not patentable. Those are not novel. Now the second part is non-obvious. As I was telling, invention which does not follow plainly or logically from the prior art and does not involve exercise of any skill. Okay. So if I'm seeing that there is
Trishita ma'am, can you
yes,
hear me?
yes, ma'am.
1 minute, I am interrupting you.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you presenting anything or sharing any presentation?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sharing a presentation.
Actually, it is not visible to us.
Okay. Just wait. But there is showing me.
It is
Is
just
it
showing
visible
black screen and stop presenting. Just it's showing no presentation, no screen, nothing is there.
Okay. Just wait a minute then. But initially the slide was visible, no?
First time it was visible, but after that nothing.
Okay, so let me check once.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Shoma ma'am.
Yes. Sorry. So, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Trishita ma'am. So, madam has clearly explained.
Shoma, just wait. Shoma, wait. Trishita ma'am is continuing.
Okay.
She's starting her presentation again. Just a minute. That's it.
Is it visible now?
No,
No, it's
just fraction of second it was visible. After that, it's a black screen only.
second flex.
It's a black screen, not visible. I think due to internet issues, maybe. Is it visible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, it is visible now.
Okay.
Pro-
So shall I start from front or
Okay,
No,
you
no.
may start.
I'll start from
Wherever
the
you-
beginning?
No. Just start from where you start.
Okay. So is it visible now?
Yeah, ma'am, it's visible, properly visible.
Okay. So what are the requisites for an invention to be patentable? Like if I have an invention with me, I have developed something, I have designed a system, and now I want it to be patented, want it to get patented. So what are the features which I need to check that whether my invention can be patented or not? The first thing is novelty. As I was telling, the invention should be original. It should not be present in any public domain from beforehand, or neither it should be anticipated by any publications anywhere in the form of document or any maybe presentation or like that anywhere in the world. The second is non-obvious. Invention which does not follow plainly or logically from the prior art and does not involve exercise of any skill. Suppose there is an invention. I have just there is particular a compound of a composition is used. I have just altered that compound. I know that these two compounds have the same properties, and not only me. Suppose it is known to everybody, and I have just altered compound A with compound B, so that invention is an obvious invention. So it can be done logically from the prior art, and it does not involve any mental exercise or any brainstorming. So those inventions cannot be patented. The invention should be non-obvious. Like a person skilled in the art, like skilled in the art, I mean that any person who is knowledgeable in the basic level cannot derive the invention by reading just the documents already being published. Now, the third part is the invention should have an inventive step. Now, what is inventive step? Inventive step is that invention should be non-obvious, that I already mentioned. Now, the invention should be a technical advancement of the previous invention. If somebody has developed if suppose a telephone has been invented, the previous telephone, Alexander Graham Bell has invented a telephone. Now if I'm approaching for a mobile phone, that mobile phone is having some technically advanced features over that telephone that was previously being invented, and also it is economically advanced as well. So those inventions is having a particular inventive step. Now suppose a mobile phone has been patented, and now I am trying to file patent for another mobile phone. But and how I can technically isolate these two mobile phones? By developing certain features or certain add-ons that would be advantageous to that previous mobile phone, that would be advantageous in features, in terms of cost, or maybe in terms of visibility, or in terms of processor, from that previous mobile phone. So the invention must have an inventive step. And the fourth point is the invention should be useful, like it should have some commercial or industrial applicability. Now, I would like to share an overview, like what is the procedure of applying for a patent in India. Initially, what we do, we draft and file an invention. Now, drafting and filing of an invention can be in the form of a provisional specification or in the form of a complete specification. Now, what is provisional specification? Suppose I have an idea that I know that this can be done in this way, but I have not developed an experimental prototype for the same, or I have not yet, experimentally validated the particular thing. But I know that this can be there. The idea has stuck into my mind. So what I can do, I can file a provisional specification giving a brief write-up of the inventions along with the inventive step, and then I will have 1 year to prepare and to formulate this particular idea into different experimental parameters. And also I will have time to experimentally analyze and develop the model for that particular thing, and I can file the complete specification after a year. Now, what is the advantage? Advantage is like, if I am filing a provisional specification today and I am filing a complete specification after 1 year, like on 7th of March 2023, my application is gaining priority from today only. That is from 8th of March 2022. That is the day when I filed provisional application. So it doesn't matter whether I have given all the steps, all the experimentations there, but as I filed a provisional specification giving the concept and a brief idea of my invention, so the priority of my invention starts from today itself. And also I am gaining 1 year time to develop this model completely and file the complete specification. So that is the advantage of filing a provisional specification. Now, the provisional specification must include all the featural aspects of a complete specification. Like, I don't need detailed structures and detailed techniques, but a brief overview should be present. Now, the complete specification is based on this provisional specification and should not contain any additional things that are not proposed in the provisional specification. Then the application may likely to be get rejected. And second is, we can file complete specification directly. Like, I have the invention, I have experimentally developed it, I've studied it, I've analyzed it, I have all the results with me, I have field tested it. I can simply file the complete specification. Now, after filing this complete specification, what will happen? Our invention will be published within 18 months from the date of filing, and a request for examination should be made within 48 months from the date of filing. Now, the basic step is, after filing of my invention in complete specification form, I will be issued a first examination report by a Indian Patent Office. So, for issuance of this first examination report, I need to file a request for examination. In fact, not only me, not only the applicant, anybody interested in the field can file this request for examination within 48 months from the date of filing. And then a first examination report, we call it a FER, will be issued. What is FER? FER is like, I have filed a complete specification doing certain searches and certain prior art details. Like, I have studied several papers, several patents, and I have found that this particular feature is not present there, so my invention is advantageous over those prior arts. Now, the examiner of the Indian Patent Office will also do a prior art search on their end and issue a first examination report with certain objections which may giving certain prior arts which they feel are contradicting with this particular invention I have filed. So I need to contest those arguments. I need to give an argument that, see, this particular invention is different from the prior arts which you have given, and in this field, this invention, my invention is a novel one. It has an inventive step. It is non-obvious. So please proceed with further actions. Now, if the controller is satisfied with the first examination response given by me, the application may likely to be granted. Now, if he or she is not satisfied, I may be issued a hearing notice where I will be heard from in front of the controller, and the controller will place different arguments like what he thinks my invention is contradicting with some prior arts, and what I think that in what ways my invention is different from the prior arts. So I will be heard in front of a controller, and upon the discretion of the controller, or upon the results I have given to the controller regarding the distinguishment of my application from the prior arts he suggested, my application may get grant or reject. So these are the steps which are normally followed by the Indian Patent Office for filing a patent application, and followed by its grant or rejection. First, we draft the application, and then the application get published within 18 months, and then the request of examination can be made within 48 months. Then a FER is issued, and after responding to the FER, the controller may grant or reject the application, or he may issue an hearing notice, and after being heard, the application may be granted or rejected. Now, maintenance and validity of a patent. Validity of a patent is 20 years from the date of filing. If I have been granted a patent today, and if I have filed the patent in the year 2012, my patent will be valid till 2032. After 20 years, the invention will be available to public. And for making this patent valid for 20 years, I need to give renewal or maintenance fees to keep my patents in effect. Now, renewal fees is payable per year from the third year of grant, and we can also pay advance renewal fees according to the Indian Patents Act. And also, if we suppose are unable to pay a renewal fee due to certain unintentional causes, an extension is possible up to 6 months for payment of the renewal fee. Now, suppose I am unable to pay the renewal fee within 6 months, then my patent is likely to get lapsed. So, I can restore my lapsed patent by filing a form within 18 months of the patent expiration date, citing sufficient reasons. But the entire thing, that whether my patent will be restored or not, that is dependent upon the decision of the controller. Excuse me. Now, if I want to apply for a patent outside India, there are two routes normally being followed. First is a Patent Cooperation Treaty, that is PCT, which can be done by filing the same Indian application in multiple countries as governed by the PCT. PCT includes different countries, different European countries, American countries also, where it is by a act that these countries are included by the PCT Act. So if I'm filing a PCT application, I'll be getting 30-month time to decide the country in which I want to patent an invention. So PCT application needs to be filed within 12 months from the date of Indian patent filing, and then after the PCT application, we are getting another 30 months to decide on in which country we want to file our application. But obviously, before filing this PCT application, we need to take permission from the Indian Patent Office. We normally wait for around 6 weeks, and then after that we proceed if we want to file for a patent outside India. And the second step is we can obtain a foreign filing license from the Indian Patent Office and then file our application in the desired country. But that will limit the filing to that particular country as desired. Okay, unlike the PCT thing. Okay, now in these two slides which I discussed, there are certain relaxations by the Indian Patent Office for an educational institute. Like I was telling that we get after 18 months a document is normally published in the published. So if we file a particular form, that is request for early publication, the documents get published within a month, and what are the advantage? Then we need not wait around 48 months to get our examination, get our application examined. We can file immediately a request for expedited examination, and then our application will be examined in a faster manner. Now, what is an advantage for an educational institute is that the fees for all this expedited examination and all has been reduced to a considerable extent by the Indian Patent Office or by the central government in this newly amended rule. So a lot of we are getting a lot of filing from the educational institutions now, because as the fees is reduced to a considerable extent, it is comparable to a natural person. So we are getting a lot of filings from them. And also, as this request of expedited examination is being made, the examinations or the applications are being reviewed like very early. So maybe a patent gets granted within like 2 years of filing. Now, what are the role of STEM professionals in IT? I was talking that STEM professionals should be aware of different career opportunities. STEM professionals are I mean the women STEM professionals have not landed so much STEM jobs. So a STEM professional is a core part in this IT, because I for being a patent agent or a patent associate or in patent field, one must have a science degree. And also, as I'm discussing inventions, as I'm drafting invention, I need to have a solid knowledge of the invention. So for that, I need to have a technical degree as well, so that I can understand the invention from a prospect. I can identify the novelty and inventive step in the invention. I can discuss with the inventor that, see, this is the novelty and inventive step as per my description, what is your take on it? I can craft the invention in form of a provisional or complete specification in order to completely protect my invention, because what I have written in the complete specification is the ultimate. That cannot be amended in the later stage. So that crafting, I would tell it crafting rather than drafting, that should be very much solid in nature, that should be very much compact, concise, and descriptive also. Again, STEM professionals can file an application, and also they may develop strategies to protect the invention. Like when FER comes, we need to understand like what is the objection or in what direction the controller is objecting, and we need to develop suitable strategies and assist the inventors or the or different clients that how we can protect this invention. So this requires a lot of scientific and technical background and lot of scientific and technical knowledge. And also we need to understand the necessity of this idea from womb to tomb, that is from the scratch level to the patent level. So a lot of technical overview or technical understanding is necessary in this regard. Now, what is a career progression? Like, if I work in a field of patent, what should be my career pathway? Like in a college, we know assistant professor, associate professor, grade one, grade two, then professor. Now, for being in the field of this patent, one can start as a trainee or an intern, then one can be associate, and after clearing a patent agent examination, which is conducted throughout India, one can be a patent agent, and then obviously one can be a partner or admin of that particular firm or a particular company, because ultimately in any role you do, you need to take the administration part at your later stage. So this is regarding the patenting things, this is regarding patenting applications, and what is the like what are the brief flow path. I just tried to highlight that what is normally followed and what is the brief flow of directions which we need to understand before filing a patent of an application. And now I would just like to take you all through a brief glimpse of our company, like what we usually do and how we usually work, so that you can also have an idea that what is our objective and what are our mission. One thing I would like to add that on this occasion of Women's Day, uh, everything can be done if there is a will in our mind. Like if it is well known that where there is a will, there is a way. If we focus, if we think that yes, we can also manage our household and our work parallelly, we can also work in equal level to a men professional. We can also strive towards success, and we can be and there will be no, barriers which can restrict us from doing wonders. So that should be inculcated in the mind of every woman, because women are the best managers, I believe, that they completely manage their household. They do all those things that is required to keep a house in place, in peace rather, I would say. And if they are doing so much at their household level, they can obviously excel in their professional level as well, but they need to have that in their mind that they can do, and there should be a goal in their career life as well. So with this, I'd like to thank you all uh, for obviously for giving me an opportunity to deliver a talk in this prestigious webinar, and also for showing your patience and support throughout for listening to this talk. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful talk. Actually, we people obviously get inspired by your talk. Okay. Participants, if you have any
Thank you
question,
so
you
much.
may ask. Ma'am, can you share your presentation with us?
Sure.
Okay. Participants, have you any question?
You want me to now share the screen again?
No, we want, Dr. Kishita, we want your presentation for as a participants need for reference. So if you can share with
Sure,
them,
sure.
it will be achieved to our PR department also.
Sure,
It
sure,
will be
sure.
a good help for the faculty as well as the student.
Sure.
Thank you. You can mail me later on.
Yes, I'll mail you.
Okay, we are thankful to our speaker for sharing her time with us. We look forward for further association. Now, a small token of appreciation for you, ma'am, on behalf of Dr. Bishira Engineering College.
Thank you so much.
Now, I will request Professor Sohini Ghosh, NSS coordinator, for the vote of thanks. Over to you, Sohini, ma'am.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, my fellow faculty members, and my dear students. As we come to the end of our
Ma'am, you are not
webinar,
audible properly.
uh, 1 minute. Now, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes. As we come to the end of our webinar on inspiring women in technology, I feel privileged to accord the vote of thanks to our distinguished speakers, Dr. Hina Roy, Joint Director CDAC, and Dr. Trishita Nondi Chatterjee, Patent Associate, LS Dawar and Co., for their illuminating speeches. The session has really been engaging and motivating. Thank you both on behalf of Dr. BCREC Engineering College. I would also take this opportunity to express my gratitude to BCREC Society members, our Honorable Principal Sir Dr. S.S. Power, Vice Principal Sir Dr. K.M. Hussain, and Dr. Shushanta Dotto, HOD Electrical Engineering Department, for their unflagging cooperation, as well as Register Madam Mrs. Ruma Mitra. I thank the PR team, particularly Mr. Shobhik Chando and Mr. Soumitra Goswami, for their infrastructural and digital support. I thank Dr. Kamalika Tiwari, Dr. Soma Biswas, Dr. Sneha Sultana, and the entire NSS team for their teammanship and making and dedicated cooperation in making this event a grand success. Also, we have had over 300 participants across media. Some have participated through Google Meet, some have participated through the YouTube. We thank all of them for their huge participation and making this webinar such a huge success. Thank you all. And happy International Women's Day to everyone once again.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.